It's time for another episode of the NCAA 08 simulator, but first I owe everybody an apology. For weeks I've been saying that the simulator doesn't lie, and you know what? Last week, it lied. It said Ohio State would score 66 points against Tulsa, that JT Tuimoloau would have an interception, and Ohio State would play even a shred of competent offense and defense against Tulsa. As we know, that didn't happen. But I will say it did predict a Denzel Burke interception, and he got screwed on that one. But if anything, the simulator showed just how realistic it is by making mistakes and getting things wrong. And hey, what could be more human than that? Anyway, on to the Akron game. Funny story. So I'm visiting my parents this weekend, and I was downstairs making dinner as this first Akron drive was happening, and my dad was upstairs watching the simulator, and he calls down to me and he says, "Colton, Akron got the ball first and immediately got a long passing play. And then a couple plays later, they get another one. And this one was for a touchdown. This looks exactly like the Ohio State defense in real life. This is so realistic." I swear to God, I'm not making this up. And okay, I guess we're doing that already. It's going to be a long day. With CJ Stroud injured, Kyle McCord makes his first start. And you know what helps a true freshman making his first start? Handing the ball off to a dude who just set the school record for freshman rushing yards in a game. That would be Travion Henderson going 75 yards on Ohio State's first play of the game. He recently signed an NIL deal with Arby's, and can you just picture him having to scream out, "We have the meats," after he gets back to the bench after a play like this? A bit of a housekeeping note here. I lowered the quarter time in this one from 9 down to 6. There was no way I was going to have an 80-40 score here. But it looks like we won't have to worry about a shootout at all, because on Ohio State's next drive, Kyle McCord throws an interception on an overthrow, and I thought they said CJ Stroud wasn't playing. But the boys get it back the very next play because they bring heat. They blitz Cody Simon. He gets to the quarterback, and Cam Brown makes this beautiful diving interception. Ohio State blitzing a linebacker and coming up with a pick, that's the most unrealistic thing this simulator has ever predicted. Unfortunately, McCord throws another interception, and people are already calling for Jack Miller. But Akron is unable to do anything, and it leads to Ohio State getting the ball back and settling for a field goal to make it 10-7. Later on in the second quarter, you see either something very good or very bad is going to happen here. Akron punts, and Garrett Wilson back to return. Nobody's going to catch that guy. He just says, "I'll do this shit myself." Takes it for the touchdown, and I'm trying to think here. Would that be the angriest all of us would ever be after a punt return touchdown with how the offense is playing? Probably. But the defense is playing well. Kayvon Pope with the sack fumble here. Tyreek Smith recovers. Imagine playing Kayvon Pope more snaps. And Ohio State gets the ball inside the Akron 5, and once again just can't find a way to punch it in for the touchdown and settles for a field goal. What is this, the 2019 Fiesta Bowl? And the Buckeyes are booed off the field by the virtual crowd at the shoe as they lead Akron 20-7 at halftime, which brings up some very painful memories. And it gets even more painful as on Ohio State's first drive, McCord throws his third interception. And it was at this point where I thought about actually enacting Ryan Day's break in case of emergency plan on CJ Stroud. And it looks like Akron is going to make this a one-score game. This looks exactly like the Tulsa game, but they get inside the 20, and then Ohio State's defense steps up big with 3 straight sacks, the third one coming up here in a second by JT Tuimoloau. Look at him over there on the right side of your screen, just bull rushing that right tackle, slams the quarterback down, and they actually force Akron to punt. I ended up sticking with McCord at quarterback, and he rewards that faith by hitting Chris Olave in stride. Ooh, he just burns right past the defender there. Takes it 83 yards for the touchdown. And Chris Olave, remember that guy? I think they call him too sweet. More like too unrealistic seeing him with a catch after what happened last week. Hopefully in real life they do the same here and they throw him a pass tomorrow. At this point, it's 27-7, and the defense really just starts to lock it down. Cody Simon with the interception. He's having a monster game. And then McCord starts to find his rhythm a little bit and hits Garrett Wilson for the touchdown. Virtual Garrett Wilson, just as good as real-life Garrett Wilson. And then to cap it all off, Travion Henderson with another long touchdown run. He finishes the game with 13 carries for 155 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'd like to see that tomorrow. And Ohio State wins 44-14. Akron added a punt return touchdown. Ohio State got a field goal. And that's how this one ends. That's it for this week's edition of the NCAA 08 simulator. Hope you enjoyed it. You can also find the Notre Dame-Wisconsin game. I did that version of the simulator on the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to twostripecpd.com. I'll be back next week for the highly anticipated Rutgers-Ohio State simulation, and I will holler at you then.